Your credit score is 713, maybe higher. You've never missed a payment in your life, and by every number you can actually check, you're fine. So is the average American, right up until they hit 60 and find out what fine added up to. The median retirement balance for households nearing retirement is $185,000, and that's only counting the ones who have a retirement account at all. Nearly half don't. The score was never measuring the thing that mattered. 6 numbers were moving the whole time, and by the end of this video, you'll know exactly where you stand on all 6. Section 1. The absorbed raise. Here's the first number. According to a Lending Club survey, about 60% of Americans report living paycheck to paycheck, but the figure inside that figure is the one that matters. Roughly 40% of people earning over $100,000 a year say the same thing. 6-figure incomes, nothing left at the end of the month. That's not a poverty problem, it's an absorption problem. Every raise, every bonus, every tax refund gets absorbed by something. A newer car, a bigger apartment, a few more subscriptions you barely open. The income grows, and the lifestyle quietly grows to meet it. The way gas expands to fill whatever container you put it in. Call it lifestyle absorption. You never decided to spend more. The spending just expanded to match the space you gave it. And this is where the conveyor belt starts, because when every dollar that comes in already has somewhere to go, your money never gets a chance to work. It arrives, it leaves, and the gap between what you earn and what you keep, the only gap that builds wealth, stays at 0. Not because you're careless, because the default settings of an American paycheck point everything at spending, and nobody ever changed yours. So far, that's just a squeeze, uncomfortable but survivable. The next number is what happens when the squeeze meets a credit limit. Section 2. The gap filler. When the month runs out before the money does, the gap gets filled. And in America, it gets filled at 21%. The average credit card balance is now $6,715, according to TransUnion. The average interest rate on accounts carrying a balance is just over 21%. Per Federal Reserve data. Run that math on a $9,000 balance, and you're paying roughly $1,800 a year in interest, not paying anything down, not buying anything new, just $1,800 to stand still. That's almost 2 weeks of the median worker's take-home pay, handed over every single year for the privilege of having already spent the money. And look at what that debt bought, not assets, not anything that pays you back. Clothes, electronics, furniture, vacations, things that lost value the moment the card was swiped. Here's the distinction that matters, because not all debt works against you. A mortgage on a property that pays for itself is leverage. A 7-year loan on a depreciating SUV is a leash. Same word, 2 opposite machines. One buys things that generate money. The other borrows from your future income to fund your current lifestyle. The wealthy use debt to make money. The average person uses debt to feel rich. That's the belt picking up speed. But the strangest part isn't the debt itself. It's what's sitting in the average bank account right next to it. A number that looks, at first glance, completely fine. Section 3. The snapshot and the trajectory. The Federal Reserve's Survey of Consumer Finances puts the median American household's transaction accounts, checking, savings, and money market combined at $8,000. And honestly, that sounds okay. $8,000 sounds like a cushion. Until you remember what that number actually is. It includes next month's rent, this week's groceries, the car insurance payment that hasn't cleared yet. It isn't money that's saved, it's money that's in motion. Your entire financial life photographed mid-stride. Most of those dollars already have a destination. They just haven't left yet. That's the snapshot. The trajectory is worse. The personal saving rate, the share of income Americans actually keep, is 2.6%. According to the Bureau of Economic Analysis, for every $100 earned, less than $3 gets kept. The historical average, going back decades, is around 8.4%. Americans used to save at 3 times the current rate, so the balance tells you where you're standing. The rate tells you which direction the belt is moving, and right now, it's moving the wrong way. The money that comes in gets absorbed, the gap gets filled with debt, almost nothing gets kept, which raises an obvious question. What about the people who do manage to keep some? That's the 4th number, and it might be the most fixable one on this list. Section 4. The trust gap. Only about a third of Americans hold any investments outside a retirement account, according to FINRA. And when researchers ask why, the most common answer isn't "I can't afford it," it's "I don't know where to start." Which is understandable. From the outside, investing looks like a casino: charts, jargon, people on TV shouting about opportunities. But here's the part nobody shouts about. Over the past 20 years, a plain S&P 500 index fund beat 92% of professional fund managers. That's not a fund company's brochure talking. That's SPIVA, the scorecard that has tracked this exact question for decades. 92%. The professionals, with their research teams and their terminals and their fees, lost to a fund that does nothing but own the entire market and wait. The problem was never that investing is too complicated for ordinary people. The problem is that ordinary people don't trust simplicity. It feels like there has to be more to it. There isn't. Complexity is the product being sold to you, because confusion keeps you dependent. That's 4 numbers now. And you might be wondering how all of this stays invisible. How does someone absorb every raise, carry a balance at 21%, keep almost nothing, invest almost nothing, and still feel fine? Because there's a number telling them they're fine. You met it in the first 10 seconds of this video. Section 5, the dashboard. The average American credit score is 713. That's officially good, and it's the only financial number most people ever check. But look at what a credit score actually measures. It doesn't measure savings. It doesn't measure investments. It doesn't measure whether you could survive 3 months without a paycheck. It measures one thing: how reliably you make payments to lenders. It's a report card written by the people you owe money to, grading you on how well you owe it. That's why you can have a 750 score and be one missed paycheck from disaster. The dashboard says fine, because the dashboard was never wired to the engine. It's wired to your payment history. You can be excellent at managing debt and terrible at building wealth. In fact, the belt depends on you being exactly that. And one more detail: that 713 average just fell for the first time since 2013. Even the gauge that only measures payment reliability is starting to flicker. This is how the conveyor belt stays invisible. Every number the average person can see says everything's fine, while every number they can't see is moving against them. So where does the belt actually end? That's the last stat, the one from the opening of this video. Time to look at it properly. Section 6, the end of the belt. Federal Reserve data from the Survey of Consumer Finances. Median retirement savings sits at $45,000 for households aged 35 to 44. It's $115,000 for ages 45 to 54, and it's $185,000 for ages 55 to 64, the people who can see retirement from where they're standing. Now, $185,000 sounds like real money until you do retirement math on it. A standard safe withdrawal rate turns $185,000 into about $7,400 a year. That's $617 a month for the rest of your life. And remember, that median only counts households that have a retirement account. Roughly 46% of American households have none. Zero. For nearly half the country, the median isn't $185,000. It's a Social Security check, and the average Social Security retirement benefit is about $2,071 a month. Call it $24,900 a year per the Social Security Administration. The median full-time worker earns $64,220 per the Bureau of Labor Statistics, so the system most people are quietly counting on replaces a little over a third of a median paycheck. That's the end of the belt. Not a cliff, not a crisis with sirens, just a quiet arrival at 65 with a number that can't do what it needs to do. Nobody standing on the belt chose this destination. They just never noticed they were moving toward it. So here's the question that actually matters. What does stepping off look like? Not in theory, in math. Section 7, stepping off the belt. Meet Dana. She's 35, a logistics coordinator making $64,000 a year, almost exactly the national median. Her credit score is 718. Her checking and savings hold about $8,000. She is, statistically, the person this entire video has been describing. Here's what flipping each number looks like for her. She stops saving whatever's left at the end of the month and starts saving first. An automatic transfer of 12% $640 a month moves the day her paycheck lands, before she ever sees it. That's not discipline, it's design. The decision gets made once, and then it never has to be made again. She clears the card balance first, because no investment reliably beats 21%, and every dollar of interest she stops paying is a dollar that funds the transfer. Then the $640 goes into a plain index fund, and she ignores it. At a 7% average return, below the market's long-run average, here's her math. Year 5, she's at about $45,800, already more than the median retirement savings of households a full decade older than her. Year 10, she's 45, with about $110,800. She's matched the median 45 to 54 household on the day she enters that age bracket. Year 20, she's 55, sitting on roughly $333,000, nearly double the median for households nearing retirement, with a decade of compounding still ahead of her. Same income the entire way, a median paycheck. The only thing that changed was the direction of the belt. And that's the real point of all 6 numbers. They were never a ranking of who's good with money. They're a description of what happens by default, what the system produces when nobody intervenes. Average isn't a category you belong to. It's a direction you're moving in, and you can change direction on a Tuesday. So go back to where this started. Your credit score is 713, maybe higher, and you've never missed a payment. That number was real. It just wasn't the one that mattered. Now you know the 6 that are, and unlike the score, every one of them is yours to move. If this is the kind of clarity you came for, subscribe. That's what we do here. And keep the momentum going. Watch what net worth actually makes you rich, middle class, or poor. It's on the screen. See you on the next one.